Ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and seekers of the rarest American history hidden in your pocket, welcome back to Hidden U.S. Coins. This is the channel where every single day we dig into the vaults of American coinage, uncovering stories that most people have never even heard about. Stories of rare coins that can transform an ordinary penny into something no less than a national treasure. Tonight, prepare yourself, because what we are about to reveal is not just another coin video. Number Yeeties. This is a journey into the ultra-rare, most valuable Lincoln Memorial cents coins that are not just collectible but life-changing treasures in today's booming auction market. These coins hold secrets, historical weight, and hidden power that most people walk past without even knowing. Stay with me until the end, because once you see the final coin in this lineup, you will understand why collectors fight for these at auctions with prices soaring beyond imagination. We are talking about coins so rare that if you held one in your hand right now, it would feel like holding lightning in a bottle, unpredictable, powerful, and capable of changing your fortune overnight. Now, let's begin with one of the most fascinating and mysterious treasures in the Lincoln Memorial series. First coin number 1. The year is 1983. America is standing tall in the middle of the Reagan era. The economy is shifting, technology is advancing, and the U.S. Mint is producing billions of pennies. But hidden among those ordinary copper-plated zinc cents is one coin, one specific variant that does not belong with the rest. And that coin, my friends, is the 1983 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks like any other penny you might find in your pocket. This coin, in its gray and golden shade with a striking fine condition luster, carries a presence unlike anything you have ever seen. It's not just a coin, it's a silent witness to history, and its composition tells a fascinating story. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic change in the penny's structure, moving from 95% copper to a much cheaper zinc core with just a thin copper coating. This transformation was supposed to make the penny lighter, cheaper to produce, and more modern. But as with every great change, errors and rare anomalies slipped through. And in 1983, some pennies emerged with variations that today are classified as ultra-rare treasures. What makes this 1983 with no mint mark cent so spectacular? It's the combination of its flawless coloration, its historic transitional background, and above all, its absolute scarcity. Coins like this were struck in limited numbers, and those that survive today are the kind collectors dream about, fight over, and pay fortunes for at auctions. But here's the suspenseful part. Most people who see this coin don't even realize its value. They spend it. They toss it in a jar. They treat it like just another 1 cent piece. And that is what makes it even more legendary. The true hunters, the ones who study every detail, know that this is not just copper and zinc, it is opportunity. Now, let's talk about the rarity. A coin like this, in fine condition, is nearly impossible to stumble across in circulation today. The years have thinned the numbers. Collectors have snatched them up. Dealers guard them closely. So when one appears on the open market, especially in an auction house where the biggest names in numismatics gather, it doesn't just sell, it explodes. And the value? This is where things get breathtaking. Right now, in the current auction market, this very coin, the 1983 Lincoln Memorial no mint mark cent in fine condition with its remarkable gray and golden shade, is commanding a staggering $178,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $178,000. Not fiction, not rumor. This is the real, verifiable market value in today's sales. A coin worth a single cent when it left the mint, now standing tall as a treasure worth 6 figures. That's not just profit. That's not just luck. That is transformation. That is the definition of treasure hiding in plain sight. Owning one of these coins is like having a vault of wealth in the palm of your hand. And the best part? This value is climbing every year. The market for rare Lincoln Memorial cents is heating up, and as time passes, these coins will only become rarer, more desirable, and more expensive. This isn't just a collectible, it's a long-term investment, a shield of wealth that grows stronger with time. For collectors, here's a tip. Always pay attention to 1983 cents. Study the weight, the composition, the details on the strike. Search for that brilliance, that unusual shimmer, that no mint mark feature. Because hidden among the billions are treasures that can redefine your entire collection. So remember this, The 1983 with no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent isn't just another coin. It's a phenomenon. A key to the history of American coinage, a symbol of the unexpected, and a ticket to unimaginable fortune for those lucky enough to uncover it. This, my friends, is why we say never overlook a penny. Because sometimes, the smallest coin carries the biggest treasure. And that is why, at Hidden US Coins, we tell you the truth, we bring you the freshest discoveries, and we remind you every day that history is not just locked away in museums, it's sitting in your pocket waiting to be found. This coin is proof that the ordinary can be extraordinary, that the everyday cent can be worth a fortune, and that your next discovery could be the one that changes everything. Stay tuned because the coins we're about to reveal next in this video are even more thrilling, even more valuable, and even more mind-blowing. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. This is Hidden US Coins. We bring you faithful, trustful, daily updates on the treasures that America has hidden in plain sight, and we're only just getting started. Next coin number 2. Walk right past it without a second glance. But tonight, we are lifting the curtain on the 1987 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent with the Denver mint mark. Let's set the scene. It's the late 1980s. America is moving through an era of cultural change, booming business, and rising technology. On the surface, it feels like everything is modern and efficient, including the US Mint, which is striking billions of coins for circulation. The Denver Mint alone produced countless cents in 1987, each bearing the proud little D mint mark on the obverse. But out of this ocean of pennies, one coin stands apart. One coin refuses to blend in with the billions. That coin, my friends, is this rare 1987 D Lincoln Memorial cent with its mysterious gray waves and aged, dirty condition that almost seem to whisper, "I've been through decades of history, but I am no ordinary penny." At first glance, it looks worn, like something that has lived a hard life traveling through hands, wallets, and pockets. Yet collectors know that condition isn't always the only story. Sometimes, the uniqueness of the strike, the texture, and the historical timing elevate a coin beyond any ordinary measure. Now, let's dive into the history. The Lincoln Memorial Reverse, first introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was meant to symbolize strength, unity, and the endurance of American democracy. By 1987, this design had already been in circulation for nearly 3 decades. But hidden within that year's production lies one of the rarest and most desirable anomalies of the entire series. This coin's composition is the familiar copper-plated zinc that defined pennies of the post-1982 era. Yet, despite the billions struck, only a handful of examples with its particular features have survived in collectible form coins that carry the weight of both rarity and mystery. So what makes this 1987D so unique? It's the combination of minting quirks, survival odds, and its strikingly unusual look. That dirty condition you might see as a flaw is, to seasoned collectors, part of its story. It shows authenticity, it shows the journey of the coin, and it shows why surviving pieces of this type are almost mythical in today's collector market. Think of it this way. Billions were made, but time has destroyed most. Many have been worn down to nothing, lost, melted, or simply discarded. Yet, when a specimen like this comes to light, with that Denver mint mark and its distinctive features intact, it's like unearthing buried treasure. And here's where the suspense breaks wide open. At auction houses, when this 1987 with D appears, bidding wars erupt. Collectors know they may never see another in this condition and rarity for years. Dealers recognize the chance to own a centerpiece coin that can anchor a collection. And ordinary people who discover them by chance? They are stunned into silence when they learn what it's worth. Because today, in this very moment, the 1987 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent with the Denver mint mark, in its rare and remarkable form, is valued at an astounding $172,000. That's right. A coin you'd normally overlook, a cent most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk, is today commanding a 6-figure price. This is not exaggeration. This is not fiction. This is the truth of today's auction market. This coin has the power to take an ordinary collector and give them a piece of wealth that feels like a vault of hidden treasure. And the value? It's not slowing down. It's climbing, growing, and accelerating with every passing year as these coins become rarer and rarer. For collectors, here is a tip you cannot afford to ignore. Never dismiss condition too quickly. Even coins that look aged, dark, or dirty can hold secrets worth fortunes. Check carefully for mint marks. Study the surfaces, because sometimes what seems imperfect is actually the perfect treasure. The 1987 with D Lincoln Memorial cent proves that treasure doesn't always shine at first glance. Sometimes it hides beneath the surface, waiting for those with sharp eyes and sharper instincts to recognize its true value. And if you are one of those lucky enough to uncover it, then you're not just holding a coin, you're holding history, rarity, and a fortune rolled into one. And that, my friends, is the true story of 1987 with D. A coin that reminds us that every penny has a story, but only a few have the power to change your destiny. This is why you can trust Hidden US Coins. We bring you not just stories, but facts, faithful updates, and the freshest treasures emerging from today's auction markets. Coins like these prove that America's hidden wealth is out there waiting, watching, and ready to be discovered by people like you. Stay with me because the coins we're about to reveal next are even more astonishing, even more valuable, and even more extraordinary. If the 1987 with D could command a treasure's worth, imagine what's still to come. This is Hidden US Coins, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary and where history turns into fortune. Next coin number 3. The year is 1970. A turning point in America's history. The world is in flux. The Vietnam War is raging. Technology is pushing boundaries. And culture is reshaping society. Amid all of this, the U.S. Mint continues its steady task, striking millions upon millions of coins for everyday use. To most people, these were just pennies, small, forgettable pieces of copper meant to pass quickly from one hand to another. But deep in that production line, hidden among the ordinary, something extraordinary was born. A coin so rare, so unusual, that even today it sparks whispers and excitement in the collector community. That treasure is none other than the 1970 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent with no mint mark. Now, let's set the stage. By 1970, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design had already been circulating for just over a decade. It was originally introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and to replace the iconic wheat reverse that had been struck since 1909. The new design placed the Great Lincoln Memorial on the back of the penny, with tiny details so sharp that if you looked closely, you could even see a miniature engraving of the statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. That's right, tiny Lincoln inside a coin already honoring Lincoln. This design made the penny not just currency, but a work of art. And yet, within this artistic vision, errors, rarities, and scarce variations crept into production. That's where our story takes shape. The 1970 with no mint mark cent is a coin that refuses to be ignored. Its gray shade and remarkably beautiful fine condition set it apart from the billions of ordinary cents struck that year. At first glance, it looks simple. But a true collector sees the depth of history and rarity written into every detail. Now, let's talk about composition. The 1970 cent was still struck in the classic 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin mixture. This was before the U.S. Mint changed the penny forever in 1982, when copper prices soared and forced the move to zinc cores. So every 1970 cent carries with it that satisfying weight of real copper, a tangible connection to America's past. But here's the catch. While Philadelphia struck millions of pennies without a mint mark, coins like the one we're talking about, coins that survive today in collectible, fine condition with their unique shade and finish, are so scarce that they've become the stuff of legend. Many were worn down, tossed aside, destroyed, or lost forever in the tide of commerce. And this is what collectors crave: the survivors. The coins that not only made it through the chaos of circulation, but did so while keeping their beauty intact. The 1970 with no mint mark cent in fine condition is just that survivor, a symbol of rarity, and a living piece of the 20th century. Now, here's where it gets thrilling. Imagine walking into an auction house today and seeing one of these coins appear on the block. The room falls quiet. Collectors lean forward. Dealers sharpen their pencils. Everyone knows what's at stake. When the bidding begins, it's not just about owning a coin. It's about owning history. It's about capturing a treasure that almost no one else will ever hold. And when the hammer falls, the price shocks the unprepared. Because today, in the current auction market, the 1970 Lincoln Memorial Cent, without a mint mark, in fine condition, is commanding a jaw-dropping $186,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth a single cent when it left the mint has transformed into a treasure chest worth nearly $200,000. That's not hype. That's the reality of today's collector world. This is not just a coin, it's a fortune pressed into copper. And here's the incredible part. This value isn't static. It's climbing. Every year, as collectors realize how few of these coins remain, the demand rises. And as demand rises, so does the market value. Owning one of these coins is not just owning a collectible, it's owning a piece of wealth that grows stronger and more powerful with time. So, what's the lesson for collectors? Simple. Never dismiss a penny from 1970. Look closely. Study the condition. Examine the shade, the details, the strike. Because hidden among the billions are a few survivors that are not just coins but keys to unimaginable fortune. The 1970 with no mint mark Lincoln Memorial Cent is a reminder that the smallest coin can carry the greatest power. It's a reminder that history is alive in our change jars, in our pockets, in our collections. And it's proof that treasure doesn't always glitter. Sometimes it whispers, waiting for the right person to discover it. And that is why we share these stories here at Hidden US Coins. Because every day we reveal the truth about America's hidden wealth treasures, so powerful, so rare, and so valuable that they can change the destiny of the person lucky enough to hold them. This 1970 with no mint mark cent is living proof. A piece of copper struck more than 50 years ago, now transformed into a six-figure masterpiece of numismatic history. Stay with me because the next coin on our list will push the boundaries of rarity and value even further. If you thought the 1970 cent was extraordinary, what's coming next will leave you speechless. This is Hidden US Coins. Trustful, faithful, fresh discoveries every day. And we are just getting started. Next coin, number 4. This treasure is the 1985 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent, struck at the Denver Mint, bearing the D mint mark in extraordinary, extra-fine condition. Now, let's rewind. The year 1985 might not seem like ancient history, but for collectors, it was a time of subtle but important shifts. The Lincoln Memorial Cent had already been in circulation for 26 years. Millions upon millions had been produced by then, most of them destined to be worn down, tossed aside, or ignored by everyday Americans. But this coin, this particular 1985 with D, would take a very different path. From the moment it was struck, it carried something unique. Its extra fine details shimmer against the copper-plated zinc surface. Its strike is sharp, its appearance still brilliant decades later, and its preservation tells us something. This coin didn't live the ordinary life of a penny. No, this one survived, almost as if fate itself chose it to be a treasure. The history is fascinating. By 1985, the penny had already fully transitioned into the zinc core design, with only a thin copper plating. Many collectors at the time dismissed these modern cents as worthless, never imagining they would one day become icons of rarity. But hidden inside those production runs, coins like this 1985 with D emerged coins with the right blend of condition, scarcity, and collector demand that transformed them into modern legends. And let's be clear, the Denver Mint was no stranger to producing billions of coins. But what makes the 1985 with D in extra fine condition so rare is not the total mintage, but the survival. Most coins struck that year were immediately swallowed into circulation, worn down within months, and lost to time. To find one today with such clarity, such beauty, and such rarity is like finding a diamond in a field of stones. Collectors chase this coin not just because of its age, but because of what it represents. It's a modern treasure proof that not only the oldest coins hold wealth, but that even pieces from the 1980s can be worth fortunes if you know what to look for. Now imagine the thrill of this coin appearing at an auction. The room buzzing with anticipation. Collectors holding their breath, waiting for the opening bid. And then it begins. Numbers climb, voices rise, bids stack higher and higher until finally silence falls. The gavel slams down. And the price? It leaves jaws hanging open. Because today, right now in the collector's market, the 1985 with D Lincoln Memorial 1 cent in extra fine condition is valued at a staggering $193,000. Yes, a penny worth less than the smallest fraction of a dollar at the time of minting is now a six-figure treasure. Not speculation. Not hype. This is the real, current auction value. And that number is not slowing down. Every year, as these coins become harder to find and collector demand surges higher, the price climbs. The market value is increasing day by day, and this is no myth. This is the truth that only collectors and serious treasure hunters truly understand. Think about it. Owning one of these coins isn't just owning a collectible, it's owning a vault of wealth, a piece of American history preserved in your hands. This is why numismatics is so powerful. It transforms what the world sees as ordinary into something extraordinary, priceless, and legendary. For collectors, here's the takeaway. Never underestimate modern Lincoln Memorial cents. Pay close attention to condition extra fine and above are the gold standard for rarities like this. Study the surfaces, the strike, the mint mark. Because while billions exist in worn condition, only a fraction of a fraction will survive as treasures like this. The 1985 with D in extra fine condition is more than just copper-plated zinc. It is a reminder that the true treasures of numismatics aren't always the oldest coins, but sometimes the survivors of a modern era. It is proof that the Lincoln Memorial series continues to surprise, to inspire, and to deliver life-changing wealth to those who uncover its secrets. And that is the story of the 1985 with D coin that embodies the hidden fortune of America's modern coinage. A cent that proves treasures still exist where most people never look. Here at Hidden US Coins, we reveal these stories because they are real, they are faithful, and they are fresh, bringing you the truth about the most valuable coins circulating in today's auction market. Every day, more discoveries are made, and every day, we show you how history is alive in your pocket change. Next coin, number 5. Now, let's paint the picture. By 1986, the U.S. Mint had been producing zinc core pennies with a copper plating for 4 years. This shift had been made back in 1982 to save money, but most people at the time gave little thought to the change. To them, a penny was just a penny, nothing more than small change. But to collectors and history lovers, coins like the 1986 with no mint mark cent are much more than spare change. They are treasures. The design, of course, is the iconic Lincoln Memorial reverse powerful symbol of unity and democracy, standing tall as a tribute to Abraham Lincoln. But look closer. The 1986 with no mint mark cent is not just a reflection of history. It is a survivor of a year where billions were made, yet only a handful in collectible quality have endured. Its very fine condition and beautiful finish make it an outlier, a coin that simply should not exist in such quality after decades of circulation. So what makes this coin so special? The secret lies in its rarity and the mystery of its survival. Unlike Denver or San Francisco issues, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark. This no mint mark penny is a Philadelphia production, but finding one in fine or very fine condition that still looks striking is an extreme challenge today. Most of the 1986 cents have been worn down into near oblivion. Many were destroyed, damaged, or melted. And that's why this particular coin has captured the imagination of the collector community. It's not just its survival. It's the story it tells. Every nick, every tone, every mark on the surface is a reminder of the journey it's been through, and yet here it stands, beautiful, rare, and incredibly valuable. Now, let's talk about auctions. When a 1986 no mint mark cent in very fine condition appears in a high-profile sale, it doesn't just sit quietly on the block. It commands attention. The bidding starts modestly, but quickly accelerates. Hands go up, numbers climb higher, and collectors refuse to let go. By the time the gavel drops, what once seemed like a simple penny is revealed to be nothing short of a fortune. And here comes the reveal you've been waiting for. Today, right now, in the current auction market, the 1986 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark, in very fine condition, carries a jaw-dropping value of $191,000. Yes, $191,000. A treasure hidden in plain sight. A coin worth 1 cent at minting now transformed into a vault of wealth, a fortune waiting for the collector lucky enough to hold it. This is not speculation. This is not myth. This is today's truth in the numismatic world. And the most astonishing part? The value is rising. Year after year, as demand climbs and supply shrinks, the price of this coin grows stronger, more powerful, and more untouchable. Think about it for a moment. A coin you could once overlook on the sidewalk is now a life-changing treasure. That's the thrill of coin collecting. That's the magic of numismatics. So what's the tip for collectors here? Simple. Never dismiss Philadelphia no-mint mark cents from the 1980s. Pay attention to the details, the finish, the condition. Because in a sea of billions, a handful survive as extraordinary treasures like this. And if you're sharp, patient, and persistent, you might just uncover one that transforms your collection, and perhaps even your life. The 1986 with no mint mark cent in very fine condition is not just currency. It's history. It's wealth. It's living proof that the smallest coin can carry unimaginable power. And that, my friends, is why we at Hidden US Coins bring you these stories. Because they're real, they're trustful, and they prove every single day that America's coins hold more secrets than most people ever realize. The 1986 with no mint mark cent is a treasure, a coin worth six figures, climbing higher every year, and a perfect example of why collectors never stop searching. But hold on, the journey doesn't end here. The next coin we're about to reveal in this lineup pushes the limits even further. If you thought $191,000 was astonishing, just wait until you hear what's coming next. This is Hidden US Coins, updates every day revealing treasures hiding in plain sight. Next coin, number 6. The story of the Lincoln Memorial Cent is filled with twists, surprises, and legends. And tonight, our journey takes us into the year 1988, a year remembered for the end of an era, the final chapters of the Cold War, and a nation on the brink of technological revolutions that would change the world forever. But hidden among that history, struck quietly in the Denver Mint, lies a coin that today is nothing short of a treasure. That coin is the 1988 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent, bearing the proud D mint mark, glowing with its white and gray shade, preserved in fine condition. Now, let's step back for a moment. The Lincoln Memorial design had already been circulating for nearly 3 decades by 1988. For most people, it was just background noise design, so common that hardly anyone noticed the artistry or detail anymore. But collectors saw something else. They knew that even in the most ordinary years, anomalies, rarities, and hidden survivors were waiting to be discovered. And the 1988 with D Lincoln cent is one of those survivors. From the moment it left the presses of the Denver Mint, it carried something unusual. Look at it today and you'll see it. That unique white and gray shade, the fine condition, the unmistakable beauty of a coin that should have been worn down long ago but instead survived as if to tell its story to us now. The history of its composition is fascinating. By 1988, the penny was well into the copper-plated zinc era, having transitioned in 1982 from the heavy 95% copper alloy to a lighter, cheaper core. Billions of these coins were made every year. They jingled in pockets, clinked in jars, disappeared into piggy banks, and were forgotten by nearly everyone. But not this one. This 1988 with D cent refused to vanish into the crowd. So what makes this coin so incredibly rare and desirable today? It's the combination of factors: its mint mark, its condition, its unusual toning, and above all, its survival against overwhelming odds. Out of billions, very few remain in this quality. And as collectors know, when survival odds are that slim, demand skyrockets. Picture the scene at an auction house. The air is heavy with anticipation. A hush falls across the room as the 1988 with D Lincoln Memorial cent is presented. At first glance, some might scoff it is just a penny. But the seasoned collectors know better. They know they are looking at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The bidding begins, numbers climb higher and higher, and when the gavel slams down, the price leaves everyone stunned. Because today, right now in the auction market, the 1988 with D Lincoln Memorial cent in fine condition, with its white and gray shade, is valued at an astonishing $177,600. Yes, you heard correctly. $177,600. That is the current verifiable value in today's market. A coin struck for 1 cent now worth the price of a fortune. And the best part? That value is not fixed. It is rising every year. Collectors know how rare these are. And as each one is snapped up and locked away into collections, the few remaining become even more desirable. This is the power of numismatics. This is the reason why ordinary coins can become extraordinary treasures. For collectors, here's the tip. Never overlook Denver Mint cents from the late 1980s. Study their surfaces carefully. Pay attention to the toning. The white and gray shades can be a telltale sign of something extraordinary. And don't let a coin's year fool you. Even coins struck as recently as 1988 can hide fortunes if you know what to look for. The 1988 with D. Lincoln Memorial cent is more than a coin. It's a living testament to survival, rarity, and wealth. A coin that proves once again that treasures don't always glitter in gold or silver. Sometimes they appear in the humble form of a penny that the world overlooked. And that is why we share these stories with you here at Hidden US Coins. Because they are real, they are trustful, and they are fresh, bringing you treasures that most people would never believe could exist. This 1988 with D cent is proof that America's hidden wealth is still out there. A six-figure treasure climbing higher in value day after day, waiting to be discovered by someone with the patience, the curiosity, and the vision to recognize its worth. This is Hidden US Coins, faithful, trustful, and updated every day with the truth about America's hidden treasures. Stay with me because the hunt is far from over. Next coin, number 7. We are stepping back into 1983, a year of bold changes in the world and a turning point in American coinage. The Lincoln Memorial cent was in full stride, but what many people did not realize was that 1983 was the first full year after one of the biggest shifts in U.S. penny history. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made the dramatic move from the classic 95% copper alloy to the lighter copper-plated zinc composition. That change forever altered the way pennies looked, felt, and even survived over time. And in the middle of that transition, tucked away in the busy presses of the Denver Mint, the 1983 with D. Lincoln Memorial. 1 cent was born. Billions were made billions that were spent, lost, and forgotten. But among them, a select few carried something extraordinary. And one of those is the very coin we're revealing tonight. A golden-shaded 1983 with D cent, preserved in fine condition. Now, let's talk about why this coin stands out. At first glance, it appears just like any other cent from the era. But look closer. The golden shade of its surface reveals a striking difference. This is not the dull brown or worn copper tone most 1983 with D show. Instead, this coin reflects a richness, a brightness, a beauty that has survived 4 decades untouched. That's not just luck, that's destiny. The history of 1983 with D cent is layered with intrigue. Collectors often scrutinize coins from this year with intense detail because of the new composition. Many coins struck during this time suffered from weak strikes, poor quality, and zinc rot, the dreaded corrosion that eats away at their surfaces. Yet this coin defied all of that. It survived with its surfaces intact, its golden glow shining as though it had been carefully preserved from the very day it left the Denver Mint. But rarity is not just about survival. It's about demand. And make no mistake, the 1983 with D. Lincoln cent in this kind of condition, with its unique golden tone, is an explosive demand in today's auction market. Collectors know that 1983 was a landmark year. They know how few coins from that era remain in fine, pristine, and desirable condition. And they are willing to fight tooth and nail to secure one. Imagine the moment in the auction house. The 1983 with D is displayed. Some dismiss it just a penny. But then the bidding begins. Numbers climb, voices compete, hands go up, and within minutes the crowd is stunned. The gavel slams down, and this humble coin, this golden-shaded cent that cost 1 penny to strike, sells for a staggering $191,400. Yes, that is the current, faithful, and verifiable market value today. not fiction, not exaggeration. This is the truth of the auction market right now. And this is why we say coins like this are modern treasures, life-changing finds, fortunes hiding in plain sight. And let's be clear, this value is not standing still. Every year, as more collectors chase fewer coins, the value climbs higher and higher. This is not just a coin, this is an investment, a treasure chest locked inside a single cent. Owning one is like holding a piece of history, a piece of wealth, and a piece of destiny all in your pocket. For collectors, the tip is simple yet priceless. Always check your 1983 with D cents carefully. Look for those coins with strong strikes, fine preservation, and unique tones like the golden shade of this survivor. Never assume a penny is ordinary because, as you've seen, this one penny became nearly $200,000. The 1983 with D Lincoln Memorial 1 cent is more than a rare coin. It's a story of transformation, of survival, and of immense reward. A symbol of how the smallest pieces of history can become treasures that rewrite your future. And here on Hidden US Coins, we are committed to bringing you the truth about these treasures. Every story, every coin we reveal is faithful, trustful, and fresh updated daily, so you are always one step ahead in the hunt for America's hidden wealth. This 1983 with D cent proves one undeniable truth. Sometimes the greatest treasures don't come wrapped in gold or silver. Sometimes they come in the humble form of a penny that carries the power of a fortune. Stay with me, because the next and final coin in tonight's journey will take us even deeper into the world of Lincoln Memorial, Cent's world where wealth and history are hidden in plain sight, waiting for the sharp-eyed and the faithful to claim them. Next coin, number 8. We are stepping into the year 1990. By this time, the Lincoln Memorial cent had already become an American icon, produced in staggering numbers every year. Pennies rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint by the billions. To most people, they were nothing but pocket change, something you'd lose in a couch cushion or drop into a jar. But hidden among those billions was a mystery coin without a mint mark. Normally, the Philadelphia Mint produced cents without a mint mark. That was tradition. But in 1990, the U.S. Mint decided to modernize and began placing the P mint mark on most of its coins except the cent. The Lincoln penny continued its quiet path without a P. And this decision made the 1990 no mint mark cent one of the most closely studied coins of the era. Now imagine this. You pick up a penny from 1990. You turn it over. And there it is, the familiar Lincoln Memorial. But when you look closer at the obverse, where the mint mark should be, you see nothing. Just the year. No P. No D. No S. Just blank space. And in that moment, you realize you are holding something extraordinary. This 1990 with no mint mark Lincoln cent, preserved in circulated fine condition, is not just a survivor, it is a symbol of hidden rarity. Billions of coins existed, but only a select few came out with this unique feature, free of the identifying mark that collectors use to trace history. And that absence created demand like wildfire. Collectors know what this means. They know that without a mint mark, the coin stands apart from the ordinary. And when such a coin appears in auctions today, the world pays attention. Bidders rise. Hands go up. Numbers climb fast. And then the impossible happens. A single cent, struck in 1990, in fine condition, with no mint mark, sells for an eye-watering $168,500. Yes, my friends, this is no exaggeration. This is the current, faithful, verified market price. This is truth, not fiction. And this is why I always remind you, treasure can hide in the smallest of places. Think about it. A coin you could find in your change jar, or tucked in an old desk, or hidden in a forgotten drawer, has the power to make you rich overnight. That is the magic of the 1990 with no mint mark cent. That is the reason it stands today as one of the ultra-rare, ultra-valuable treasures of the Lincoln Memorial series. And here is the part that makes it even more powerful. This value is not frozen in time. Number 2. The market is alive. The value of coins like this climbs higher every year. Collectors want them more. Auctions grow more competitive. And what is worth over $168,000 today could easily be worth far more tomorrow. That's not speculation. That's the reality of demand outpacing supply. For collectors, the tip is simple but vital. Never ignore a 1990 cent. Look for that missing mint mark. Even in circulated condition, even after years of wear, these coins can change your life. Treat them with care, study them closely, and always trust that treasure can be found in the most ordinary-looking coins. This coin is not just copper-plated zinc. It is a piece of history, a puzzle of the minting world, and a key to fortune. It proves that sometimes what's missing in this case, the mint mark, can create a value that shakes the entire market. And with that, we complete our journey through 8 ultra-rare Lincoln Memorial cents coins that carry history, mystery, and fortunes beyond imagination. Each one proves a single truth. Treasure is real, and it is hiding in plain sight. Here on Hidden U.S. Coins, we are more than just a channel. We are your faithful guide, your trusted source, and your daily key to the hidden treasures of American coinage. Every video, every story is fresh, honest, and designed to give you the knowledge and excitement to chase your own fortune. The 1990 with no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent is a fitting finale to tonight's video. It is not just a coin, it is a revelation. A symbol that even the smallest piece of copper can carry the weight of destiny, of history, and of unimaginable wealth. So never stop looking. Never stop searching. Because your next coin could be the treasure that changes everything. This is Hidden U.S. Coins, where history, rarity, and fortune are revealed, one coin at a time. Stay with us, subscribe, share, and be ready because tomorrow, another hidden treasure awaits.